What is up, guys? My name is Lex. We are here in Austin, Texas, playing at the Lodge Card Club. It's a beautiful day outside here in Texas, but today we're going to be inside grinding on the felt, the brand new Lodge Livestream, playing 5-10 with $25 straddles, maybe $50 straddles. It's a $2,000 buy-in to start, but it's a match to stack after that. So I've got $15,000 ready to go. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can run good. Let's get down to the table. Let's get to the action. Let's go.
From the Lodge Mahal in beautiful Austin, Texas, welcome to the Lodge Livestream. My name is Slick Rick, running solo today, and we've got a good one for you today.
Sitting down at this game, buying in for $2,000. It's much smaller than the game I just played a couple days before this, and actually a 5-10-25 is the game I feel most comfortable with. That's the game I play basically every day down in Florida, and we end up getting into some interesting spots here right off the bat where Mo, who's in the cutoff, limps for $25. He seems to be quite the wild card. We're going to get into that a little bit later on, but I'm on the button here with ace-5 offsuit. My plan leading into this live stream was to try to play big pot aggressive poker, try to put people into tough spots. Well, I get 3-bet here right off the bat by Cinnabon in the small blind. He makes it $450. Back over to Mo, who makes the fold. Now we're sitting here with ace-5 offsuit on the button. It seems like a pretty easy spot to let go of our hand, but I actually have some other intentions here. I look over at his stack. It looks like he's got about $2,000 left. I feel like Cinnabon here could be 3-betting wider in the small blind. Hands like King 10 suited, King Jack offsuit, Ace 10 offsuit, smaller pocket pairs. So I feel like this could be a good spot to put in a 4-bet bluff. So I decided to go all in here. My first hand I play with ace-5 offsuit. I made this decision to go all in here for a couple reasons. One, I raised here on the button and Cinnabon 3-bet out of the small blind, which should be some of the widest positions for a raise and a re-raise. Also, I don't think Cinnabon's only going to be 3-betting aces, kings, and ace-king like some players do. I feel like he's going to have a wider range here out of the small blind. And the third reason is that I'm here in Texas on a live stream. Let's play some big pots. I don't get snap called right away, which is great. That means he doesn't have one of those premium hands. I'm hoping for a fold here. Let's just take this one down with ace high. Cinnabon is now thinking for a while, counting over his chips, and I feel like this could be a punt. I mean, I am 4-bet bluffing a guy that's named Cinnabon. He's extra sticky. He hates to fold, but we do get this one through. Eventually, he lets it go. Hand number 12, we take it down here with ace high. Moving on to the next one. Blinds at 5, 10, 25 folds to Mo here in the small blind, who raises to 75. I've got King 9 offsuit in the big blind, a hand that's too weak to call, but could be put into a 3-bet bluff. So I make it $250. Before we move on with this hand, I want to give a little bit of background information on Mo. So as we sat at the table, I had no idea who this player was, but I did see him 3-bet King 3 of diamonds and then call an all in. And then I also saw him call a raise with 6-3 of diamonds, lead out with bottom pair for $400, and then jam all in and get stacked by J-Win. So I felt like this guy was quite the wild card and definitely was capable of putting in some big bluffs. So I decided to 3-bet to 250 and he makes the call. We go heads up where I flop 2 pair on a king high board. I will be putting out a c-bet on this board, but I don't get the opportunity when Mo decides to lead into me for $300. Now, like I just said, I watched him do this with King 3 of diamonds, and then I just watched him go all in with bottom pair drawing dead against J-Win. So I do think I could raise my hand, but I want to allow him to continue to bluff if he is bluffing. My hand 2 pair is strong, but I am losing to King Jack, pocket jacks, pocket nines, Queen 10 for a straight, so I elect to call here, and the turn card's the Queen of diamonds, not my favorite card. Any 10 now makes a straight, King Queen now beats us, but this could improve him to 2 pair with Queen 9, Queen Jack. He could also have a pair plus diamond flush draw as well, so when he continues now for a $500 bet, I just think versus this particular player type who's just been going pretty crazy so far this stream, we could just never be folding. Raising's out of the question, so I match the $500 bet. Heading here to the river, which does not improve us, doesn't give us a full house, and we see a big bet by Mo, a $1,200 river bet here. A lot of things are going through my mind at this time. When he bets this $1,200 size on this river, he's pretty polarized to a straight or potentially a bluff. I didn't think at the time that he would be going for this bet on the river with a 2-pair hand or even a set. I feel like he'd be betting smaller or maybe even checking it over to me, considering that I could easily have a 10 here. So when he's pretty polarized to either having a bluff or a straight, that leads me more to wanting to call, and then also seeing the hands he played prior where he completely punted off his stack makes me want to call a little bit more as well. But this spot is probably under bluffed. With that said, I decided to just put in the call. Let's see what you've got, and he's got it. King Queen for top 2 pair, which is going to beat our 2 pair. A little bit unlucky there on the turn. I think about any other player on the table I could easily fold my hand, but against this particular guy, think I'm just going to have to pay him off when he bets, given the fact that he's capable of putting in some big bluffs. I've also said this before on live streams. I'd rather make a bad call than a bad fold. So I end up adding on $2,000 to my stack and moving on to the next hand. Take a second now and pause the video. Go down into the comments below and let me know what you guys would do in this situation in a 3-bet pot with King 9 up against a wild card. Would you call that $1,200 bet or would you make a hero fold? Let me know down in the comments below. The table decides to play the nit game, which means everybody gets a button. If you win a hand, you give your button back. If you're the last person to win a hand, you end up owing the entire table $50. You can see from that aerial view, I have a nit button, and seat number 1, a player named Snag, has a nit button as well. The very hand prior to this one, he had just gotten stacked, bluffing it off, trying to get rid of his nit button, and now he raises here to $75 with a fresh $2,000 stack. I've got my nit button, I'm trying to get rid of it. I decided to 3-bet here in the cutoff to $250. Kind of a standard play, and also I want to be more aggressive, given the fact that I do have the nit bounty to try to get rid of. Snag decides to make the call, and this is it for the nit bounty. The winner of this hand does not have to pay.
Oh, nice.
Heads up between 2 players, both with their nit buttons.
Right on the clock. 7, 5, 3.
8-6-8. Yeah, we want to chop. 8-6-8. That doesn't look like
Queen for Snag here.
Yeah, we want to prolong pain.
I'm starting to think we have problems, guys.
We want to prolong the pain.
Really ill intentions on others.
Tough one, I know.
We're just wanting them to
That's
attack.
word.
I c-bet here $150 on a Queen 10-6 one-heart board, and my opponent makes the call. Turn card gives us some outs. It's the 4 of hearts. There's $850 in the pot. There's $1,600 in Snag stack. It's kind of an awkward size here. I look over at him and decide what I want to do. With the nit game on, I feel like this is a spot where I want to try to apply max pressure.
All in.
All in, he does. This is the nit game, and Snag, who just got stacked. 1 hand to go. Go with your feeling. You got top pair. Makes the call. There you go, Snag.
No nits.
Lexo looking for a heart or an ace.
Lucky.
Unfortunately, we do get called by top pair, but I still have 31% equity. Any heart, any ace will give us the win. We decide to run out the board 1 time, and the river is not good for us. It's a 3 of spades, and I end up losing $2,000 in this hand, and I also lose the nit game as well. $50 to each player, $350. This is a dagger. Oh my gosh, I just lost a big hand against Mo. 2 pair against 2 pair. I went all in trying to get rid of my nit button, and I lost another big pot, and then $50 to each player. I'm now down $4,500 on the session, and we just started 30 minutes ago. About 18 hands later, we're playing the nit game again. I do not want to lose this one. Mo here with Jack Deuce suited from under the gun +1 calls the $25 bet. I finally have a premium, my first premium of the day. Ace King offsuit, I decided to raise huge here to $300. Basically, I'm just trying to de-incentivize anyone to call here. Trying to go heads up against Mo or just take down this money pre-flop and give back my nit button, but that doesn't happen when I end up getting 3 callers. Well, Ace King is a good hand, but it's only good when you hit the flop, and luckily for us, we do hit the flop with an ace high board. I continue for a $550 bet, and everybody folds. We win this pot, and the best thing is, I'm not going to lose the Nick game this time. It's kind of funny down here in Texas. The Nick game has just become a complete obsession, which you can understand why. It really pumps up the energy at the table. Well, we're playing another game here, and there's a hijack raise to $100 over a $25 straddle, a button 3-bet here to $300, and now Mo comes along here with a call in the big blind. With all this dead money in the pot, I look down at Ace King again. This is a slam dunk squeeze spot. I can have a lot of hands that I would want to squeeze here with. Given all this dead money in the pot and the Nick game on, I decide to go $1,200 here out of position. I only get called by the button, so we're going heads up here out of position in a 4-bet pot with Ace King, and luckily we hit the board again with an ace. I definitely have a love-hate relationship with Ace King. I feel like every time I put in big bets pre-flop, I always get the 6, 7, 8 board when I'm holding Ace King. So the fact that I hit an ace last time and now an ace this time in a 4-bet pot is definitely some run good. I could check here sometimes, allowing him to potentially bluff or value bet a worse hand. But given the fact that I don't have the ace of spades or the king of spades, he could easily have a flush draw. I decided to bet 20% of the pot here, $600. Back over here to the button with pocket tens, and he makes a pretty quick fold, and we take this one down. We win the pot, and we do not lose the Nick game. We were down $4,500 right off the bat, but after these last two hands, we're now only down about $2,000. With blinds at 5, 10, 25, 50, double straddles on, there's a cutoff raise to 150, a small blind call for 150, and now I'm here in the $25 straddle with ace 10 offsuit, a hand that's just not strong enough here to call, especially with a player behind me being out of position, but it's a hand I could potentially put into a 3-bet bluff. I think the cutoff could be opening up with a wider range, so I try to put the pressure on here and make it $700. A squeeze play that is not going to work. Mr. Sticky here, Cinnabon, wakes up with the Cowboys Kings, and he cold 4-bets me to $2,500. Nothing I can do here with my ace high. I fold, and he takes this one down. Kind of got caught there with my hand in the cookie jar. We're now on to hand number 70, and wouldn't you know, another Nick game. We just started here. I've got the button, so I raise here in the hijack with a good playable hand, king queen offsuit. Now Jason, who really hasn't played too many pots so far, goes into the tank pre-flop. He makes it look like he's about to 3-bet me. This is usually the pose that someone does when they 3-bet. He then decides to just call. So I take note of this thinking that he probably has a pocket pair, maybe something like 6s through pocket 9s, maybe something like ace jack or ace 10. We end up going heads up here to a queen, queen, deuce flop, flopping trips in the Nick game. It doesn't get too much better than this. He checks over to me. He could have pocket deuces here. I don't think he ever has ace queen, so we basically flop the nuts. I put out a bet of $150 trying to target his ace high hands and his pocket pairs, and when he makes the call, I put him basically exactly on hands like pocket 5s through pocket 9s. So when the turn card's the 6 of clubs and he checks over to me, I don't think this particular player is going to hang on for 3 streets with a hand like pocket 5s or pocket 7s on this board. So I like to get a little tricky and trappy here and check back, hoping that he'll lead out on the river with his pocket pair, and then we can put in a big raise. Our hand won't make any sense, and he'll make the call. That was my plan going in, and with the 10 of diamonds on the river and my opponent now leading out for $450, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. But I actually kind of got a little bit concerned here. When this 10 hit the river and he continued to bet, I no longer put him on hands like pocket 5s or pocket 7s or pocket 9s. I think with those hands he would just check, looking to check call. It is possible he could have pocket 6s or pocket 10s. Those are hands that might think about it a little bit pre-flop and then make the call. It is possible he could still have pocket 9s or an ace-high hand or a bluff or a worse queen X hand. I think my hand is too strong to just call here on the river. I have to go for max value with my trips. I bump it here to $1,500. With this nit game in play, it really adds a different element to the game. He's trying to win a hand to get rid of his button. I'm trying to win a hand to get rid of my button. There's a lot of leveling going on here. He tries to bluff the river, and when I raise, he might think that I'm trying to rebluff him. He could possibly try to bluff again. He may think that I'm bluffing, so might make a lighter call down. The reason I played this hand so weird with a check back on the turn was to try to get a hero call from a pocket pair, but as we can see, he just had Jack 9 of clubs here. We end up taking down this pot. I show my cards, I get the pot, I get my nit button taken away. No more nit game for us to lose, and now we have a $6,600 stack. Just a few hands later, the best part about playing the nit game is when you get rid of your button and everybody else still has their button and they're just desperately trying to win a pot. Well, I actually have a playable hand here with ace-queen offsuit raised to 75. Jason comes along with a call on the button with 4-deuce suited, and now Driver with his nit button decides to 3-bet me to $350. Action back over on me here with ace-queen offsuit. If we were heads up here in position, pretty deep stacked, I would consider just calling, but given the fact that there's a button call behind me, I don't want to call here and go multi-way. I could fold my hand given the fact that Driver really hasn't gotten out of line the entire session, but he has his nit button. He's trying to get rid of it here. Ace-queen's a good hand. I block other strong hands. I could be ahead against some of his 3-bet bluffs, so I decide to put in another raise here to $900.
$950.
Lexo gonna make it $950 with his ace-queen offsuit. 4-betting here.
Thanks. Defense.
We started off pretty bad right off the bat. I was down $4,500. Everything really wasn't going my way, but we have slowly clawed our way back. I'm only down less than $2,000 now. Well, in this hand, Mo decides to call $25 in the cutoff. As you can see, he has a monster stack. He's sitting on $19,000. He's basically playing every single hand, and he is hitting every single board. Well, with ace-9 offsuit, a hand I could easily fold, but versus a player who's playing every single hand, ace-high's got to be ahead of that range, so I make it $150. He makes the call, and we flop top pair on a monotone board. Mo checks over to me, and I bet big here, $250 into $350, thinking that if he has any pair on this board or any flush draw, he'll make the call, but he decides not to call. He decides to check raise me here to $600. When I see this check raise from my opponent, I kind of chuckle to myself inside because at this time I had not seen many of his hands, and he was basically raising, re-raising, going all in constantly, so I wasn't sure if he was just bluffing all the time or if he just had all the good cards. Against some players, I may fold my ace here when check raised, but not against Mo. I make the call for $600, and the turn is the queen of hearts. We are almost always losing now. When he check raises the flop, he either has 2-pair, a set, or maybe a bluff. And all his bluffs got there on the turn. He could have king 10 with the king of hearts, maybe jack 9 with a jack of hearts, or maybe queen of diamonds, 7 of hearts, that he decided to randomly check raise on the flop and then somehow get there on the turn. Well, with the action over here on Mo with a 7-high flush, he decides to go all in for my $6,000 stack. I have an easy fold here, but after the stream, when I saw this particular hand, it kind of gave me sketchy vibes. I mean, how the hell did he know to check raise the flop with the queen 7 offsuit and then go all in for 3x, 4x pot with a 7-high flush draw? I don't know. Kind of weird, but Mo crushed the table all night. He ended up profiting huge. Leading in now to the last hand of the night, $50 straddles on, and there's 2 calls for $50 before Snag is here in the small blind and bumps it up to $250. Mo is next to act, and he's never seen 2 cards he doesn't like pre-flop. He makes the call for $225 with actually a super premium hand, king queen of diamonds. It's like he knows that I have ace queen. I don't know. Anyway here, this is a great spot to put in a squeeze. Like I said early on, I want to try to play aggressive. I want to try to play big pot poker. There's a lot of dead money in the pot here, so I make it $900 to go. Back over to the button who folds out his smaller pocket pair. Snag has around $3,000 left, and the $50 straddle's on. So he does have less than 100 big blinds when the 50's on. Eventually he decides to jam his stack in there. I don't think I'm going to be 3-bet folding ace-queen offsuit for less than 100 big blinds. So I make the call, and we are flipping here for a massive $7,000+ pot. We decide to run out the board 2 times. We've got a hit to stay alive.
Running it 2 times.
It should just be chop.
Lexo looking for an ace or a queen. Notice there's only 2 queens and 2 aces available.
Always nice to win the first one.
Ace
Yes.
for Lexo.
It's always nice to win the first one. Ace on the river to give us a lock on the first board. We're at least getting half of our money back. The second flop is decent for us. Jack, Jack, 6, 2 clubs, counterfeit options here, backdoor flush draw. The turn gives us an ace-high flush draw and 2 overcards. Could we do it here? All these outs? Well, not this time. It's close, but it's a king, and we end up chopping this one up, taking down a little dead money here, and this ends up being the last hand for the stream. I end up playing about another hour after stream and lose around $1,500. Unfortunately, on this session, I just could not dig myself out of the big hole I got myself in early on, but me and a couple of the guys from the stream decided to go across the street here and get some dinner at a Brazilian steakhouse. It was awesome, full of meats and wine, and I really enjoyed it. Alright guys, that is it for this one. Back here at my hotel. I've got one more night here in Austin, Texas. Just got back from the steakhouse. I am full from beef, chicken, lamb, mashed potatoes, plantains, wine. It was a great night. My experience here at the lodge, this is probably my 4th or 5th time coming here, has just been A+. When it comes to the management, the staff, the poker dealers, the players, the waitresses, everyone here at the lodge has just been great. Just like getting my chips, going back into the box, getting a drink of water. Everyone is just so nice, so helpful, and it's a really, really cool place to play. Another cool thing is that I talked to Slick Rick, who is one of the commentators. He was a commentator for this stream today, and he said, you're one of, not that many people who have played on all 4 locations of the lodge live stream. Like almost 2 years ago, I came here to Texas for my very first trip when I first started my poker vlog, and I played on their first lodge live stream location, which was in their old room. Then they moved to the new lodge, Lodge Mahal. I played in their second location of a stream. Then I played on their third location, which was the Blue Table. And then this week I played on their private room, 4th location. So it feels pretty cool to be part of that group of guys that's played on every single one of their locations. And it was a great time. Really, really cool group of guys. Everyone was cool, fun. The group of guys I went to eat with, that was great as well. But ended up losing today, minus $3,900. I felt like I played well, though. I didn't get too out of line. I tried to bring the action, try to be aggressive. Don't think I punted, but I didn't pick up that many hands. I never got aces, kings, no queens, no jacks. I didn't really pick up any hands. I think I made 2 pair once and I lost. One hand I wish I could have taken back was when I called on the river versus Mo on that king, jack, queen, 9 board when I had 2 pair and he had a better 2 pair. Wish I could have taken that one back, but what can you do? $3,900 loss. I was on a $60K upswing though, so it's going to go down just a little bit. I've got one more day here at the lodge. Going to be playing tomorrow, 5/10/25. Then I'm flying back to Florida, so be on the lookout for one more video, but that is it for this one. I'm going to rest. I'm going to relax. I'm going to rewatch the stream. I'm going to go to sleep, get ready for tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, I'll see ya.